Let's cut the crap. You didn't get married just to have a roommate. You didn't stand in front of your friends and family, exchange vows, and promise forever just to end up living like two strangers who happen to share a Wi-Fi password and a mortgage. You know what I'm talking about. The silent dinners where your phones get more attention than each other. The goodnight peck on the cheek that feels more like a formality than affection. The slow, creeping realization that you haven't truly touched, not in a meaningful way, in weeks or months. Yet here you are late at night typing into a search bar. Is it normal to be in a sexless marriage? Let me give you the truth. Normal doesn't mean healthy. And it sure as hell doesn't mean happy. It's a quiet desperation shared by millions, but that doesn't make it right. Here's the cold, hard data for you. Experts say anywhere between 15% to 25% of marriages are clinically sexless, meaning you have sex less than 10 times a year. Let that sink in. Less than once a month. For some, it's less than they visit the dentist, but that number is a lie. It's a whisper of the real truth because it doesn't count the couples drowning in shame, too embarrassed to admit it to a surveyor, let alone to themselves. And it doesn't count the couples having passionless, obligatory duty sex, which is just another form of loneliness. So yes, it's common, but so is debt and chronic back pain. Common is not the goal. Society loves to give you a hall pass. It serves up a buffet of convenient excuses, and we eat them up because they're easier to swallow than the truth. Oh, intimacy just changes after you have kids. No, your priorities change, and if you don't actively prioritize each other, the connection will die. Kids are demanding, not a death sentence for your desire. Oh, we're just too stressed from work. Bullshit. Stress doesn't kill intimacy, it's what you do with the stress that matters. Do you turn toward your partner for comfort, or do you use stress as a shield to keep them away? And the laziest one of all, people just grow out of it. People don't just grow apart. They stop watering the garden. They stop putting in the effort to grow. These aren't reasons, they're symptoms of a deeper problem. When sex disappears, it's a sign that respect, connection, and emotional safety have already left the building. So why does this happen? Let's get into the savage truths. First, resentment is the most effective form of birth control on the planet. You cannot build a mountain of unspoken frustrations, slights, and disappointments all day and expect fireworks at night. Every time you use weaponized incompetence, every time you dismiss their feelings, every time you make them feel like your maid, your butler, or your coworker instead of your partner, you are poisoning the well of desire. You can't feel contempt for someone and want to be naked with them. It doesn't work. Second, attraction fades when effort fades. And I'm not just talking about letting yourself go physically. I'm talking about emotional and intellectual effort. When was the last time you tried to make them laugh? When did you last ask them about their dreams, not just their day? If you've stopped being interesting, and more importantly, if you've stopped being, you're sending a clear message. You are no longer worth my energy. And let's be brutally blunt about two more things. One, you prioritized everything else. The kids' soccer schedule, your career, renovating the kitchen, your fantasy football league. You made a list, and intimacy didn't even make the top 10. You treated your connection like a plant that could survive without water. Don't act shocked when you find it withered and dead. And two, the reason that's hardest to face. Sometimes one partner is getting their need for validation, excitement, and intimacy met somewhere else. And it might not even be physical yet. It could be an emotional affair with a coworker or an old flame online. But when that energy is being funneled outside the marriage, the bed at home gets very, very cold. So, what are the consequences of this slow drift into nothingness? It's not just about a lack of orgasms. It's a profound emotional starvation. You can be in a crowded room and feel utterly alone because the one person who is supposed to see you, truly see you, looks right through you. It creates a constant, low-grade hum of resentment that infects everything. How you talk about money, how you parent, how you speak to each other. The risk of cheating skyrockets not just out of lust, but out of a desperate hunger to feel wanted, to feel alive again. And the most brutal consequence? The complete annihilation of your self-worth. To be consistently rejected, physically and emotionally, by the person you chose to be your partner is a unique kind of hell. It makes you look in the mirror and ask, am I no longer desirable? Am I ugly? Am I boring? It's like sleeping next to a person who, with their silence and their distance, tells you every single night, I don't want you. That is a savage, soul-crushing truth to live with. So, how do you fix it? Listen closely, because this is the part that requires guts, not excuses. It takes both of you. One person cannot fix a two-person problem. If your partner isn't willing to even acknowledge the issue, that's not a problem, that's a verdict. But if you're both willing to fight, here's your battle plan. First, you have to have the talk. No screaming, no blaming, schedule a time. Sit down and use I feel statements. I feel lonely in our marriage. I feel rejected and it's hurting my self-esteem. I miss feeling close to you. You're not attacking them, you're revealing your wound. Second, rebuild the foundation. You can't build a skyscraper on rubble. That means rebuilding friendship and emotional intimacy first. I'm talking about scheduled, non-negotiable date nights, no kid talk, no logistics talk, ask each other big questions, flirt, text each other during the day, recreate the energy you had when you were first dating. Remember why you fell in love before life got in the way. Third, put in the physical effort. For yourself first. Start working out, buy clothes that make you feel good, find a hobby that lights you up. That confidence is magnetic. And yes, consider therapy. It's not a punishment, it's a workshop. It's a place where you get a professional translator to help you understand each other's language again. And here's a controversial one. Schedule sex. Everyone screams, that's not romantic. You know what else isn't romantic? The silent, bitter resentment you feel now. Your spontaneous plan of never isn't working. Scheduling it means you are both making intimacy a priority. It's an appointment for connection. You can build anticipation. You can make it an event. It's a hell of a lot better than nothing. If you're asking if it's normal to be in a sexless marriage, you already know the answer deep down. It might be common, but it's not the life you envisioned. It's not what you signed up for. A marriage without intimacy is like a car without gas. You can sit in it, you can admire the paint job, but you ain't going anywhere. It's a partnership in name only. And here's the hardest pill to swallow. If you've tried, if you've laid your heart bare, if you've suggested therapy and date nights and your spouse just doesn't care, you have to ask yourself the terrifying question, why the hell are you still there? What are you afraid of? Being alone? You're already alone. So, is it normal? Yeah, but so is divorce. So is cheating. So is living a life of quiet misery for 20 years because you were too scared to face the truth and demand more. Don't you dare confuse what is common with what is acceptable for your one and only life. You deserve intimacy, you deserve passion, you deserve to feel seen, heard, and desired. You deserve to feel alive in your own marriage. Anything less than that, that's not a rough patch, that's not normal, that's settling. Stop surviving your marriage. Start demanding the connection you deserve, or have the courage to go find it elsewhere.